Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Tea from the Galaxy, a thirst-quenching podcast for the girls, gays, theys, and astrology baes, where we talk about anything and everything through an astrological lens. So today I brought on the first bi queen of this Pride Month 2026. Her name is MeghaMuse. She is a tarot reader. Her readings are currently blowing up on TikTok, okay? And she is an astrologer. She does content creation for astrology.com, which is really cool. And we just had such a great conversation of what it feels and means to be a bi woman in this society. We talk a lot about queer astrology. We talk a lot about being a mercurial queer person, aka having a lot of Virgo and Gemini in your chart together, and why those placements tend to be leaning more towards being queer. I think you guys will love it. So let's just jump right into it. Thank you for coming on.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here.
Questions that I ask every guest off rip who come on this podcast. You can answer all of them or none of them or whichever ones you feel comfortable. The questions I like to ask, so everyone can get a little bit better understanding of who you are, is your age, your sexual identity, your pronouns, and your big three.
All right, absolutely. So I'm gonna be 32 in July. So for the astrology nerds at home, that's 1994. That's why it's like, yeah, how much detail do you guys want to know? Um, I'm a Leo sun, Cancer rising, Aries moon. Just got done with my Saturn return, thank God. Yes, yes.
Interesting.
Yes. That's unlocked so much in terms of like my sexuality, I feel as well. Because, okay, I am bisexual, but if you want to know really the chaotic bi in my chart, Saturn and Pisces opposite, Venus and Virgo, square Mars and Gemini. So I'm going to give you my big three,
One
but
big
I
T
feel like
square.
so much, I feel like so much of my identity as a bisexual is because of that mutable T square, to be honest. And I
Yes.
honestly think that after my Saturn return, it has like Saturn is giving my Venus permission to do her thing more now.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Kind of like a late bloomer. Also like she, her, she, they, maybe. I don't think about my gender very much. I do identify as a woman, but
Mm-hmm.
uh I've flirted with the idea of being non-binary. I've,
Okay.
so you can call me whatever. I came out as bisexual 10 years ago now. I realized it was 2016, what in June was my
That's
first like pride.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's
And I totally
awesome.
thought I
Good for
was straight
you.
the whole time.
Yeah.
I totally thought I
When
was
you,
straight until I had a crush on a girl. So to get into that, the reason why I think astrology has helped me with that identity to some degree is because looking back, like I didn't even think I was queer at all until I was like 21, 22.
hmm
But looking back, I've been a queer woman this whole time. Like, and you can see the writing on the wall and the fact that in high school, like I only had crushes on gay men. And
Mm,
friendship you where you look back and it's like, wait, maybe we liked each other, like kind
yeah.
of thing. Like,
Like an
and like I've
obsessive
always,
friendship. And you're like, wait,
yes,
maybe there was some extra feelings in that.
yes. Some of that has already like been explored in retrospect, but it's like I was always like an ally, like I was a theater kid, and so it's like I was around queer people, but like I think that because I grew up like boy crazy or like I always had crushes on boys, like the comp het thing is a big deal, especially like being femme, right? But
Yeah.
like it was like my senior year of college, I had my first like crush on a girl, but even before then, I had lesbians have crushes on me and like ask people if I was bi, and I just didn't even know if I was. And so
hmm
lesbians knew before I did.
Yeah.
Um, which my ex-girlfriend, who I am still friends with, it's funny, like we actually did go to college together, but well, I've had two ex-girlfriends, but she's the one I refer to more because we were together longer. We knew each other in college, but then didn't actually date until a couple of years after that. But like she apparently like had wondered if I was bi, like before I even was out or had any clue. So
hmm
I always find that to be interesting. And also when I think about the way that I have crushes on men, it's always been, which I mean, pansexual, bisexual. For me, I was on Tumblr in 2016 and heavily related to the bisexual like memes. And so to have the label
Me
bisexual
too.
made me, yeah, it made me feel like I was a part of the culture.
I identify as
Yes.
pansexual, queer. My
Hmm.
journey has been like a roller coaster, up and down. I wouldn't say like Tumblr made me realize, but that I
Yeah.
liked women at that time. But I definitely realized that I liked women around like 13, 14, and that's when I started getting into Tumblr. It was like my
Yes.
first time really seeing
Hmm.
lesbian couples on there and like in a
Yep.
cutesy type of way. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it
Yes.
struck something in me.
You know, you're making me realize, like, I honestly think so. Whenever I had my first crush on a girl, which I knew she was bi, and we became friends, and we became friends really closely. And it started with me just being like, does she like me? And then I realized I'm thinking about this too much. Like, I think I like her, like,
Hmm.
honestly. But like, I was so surprised of like, how could I have not known that I was queer or like, how did this come out of the woodworks? But looking back, I was just sexually suppressed, period. I'm a Virgo Venus. So
Yeah, opposite
I,
Saturn.
yes, yes. And so I don't think that it was so much, how did I not know? I was lying to myself. Like I never had those experiences of like,
Hmm.
feeling it and then being ashamed, or at least not consciously, which I was raised with like Democrat, like liberal parents that were
Hmm.
like pro gay marriage. So like I had gay friends. I didn't have very many bisexual friends. I feel like,
In high school, I only knew of one bisexual girl. I remember when she came out to me, she was like, I'm bisexual. It was like this big thing. And I just remember being so happy for her. This is when I considered myself straight, even though I knew
mm,
that I liked girls. I just didn't think how I felt about
yeah,
girls. I thought everyone felt about girls. But I was like, oh, like
yeah,
I'll hook up with a girl, but I
yes,
wouldn't date a girl type of thing. So when people would
yeah,
come out to me, I'm like, oh, cool. Like I was never homophobic. Like I was never in the closet
yeah,
homophobe. I was just like in denial in the closet.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
There's definitely like there's a denial element, and then there's also kind of like a repression element as well, where like I think that I was just sexually repressed in general because I was like kind of a prude. I'm a very romantic person. I tend to like feel romantic towards people before I feel sexual. And I also think
hmm
part of my problem is that I feel like I had friends that were pretty girls. Like I was friends with pretty girls and didn't feel attracted to them. And I still to this
yeah,
day,
same.
I have that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's why it was confusing too.
I think part of it that I've realized, I'm attracted to people that match my energy or like match my freak in any kind of way. So like a straight woman that is my friend that is gorgeous and 10 out of 10 is not someone I'm attracted to because I feel like, and so this is where sometimes I'm like, am I pansexual? I prefer the bisexual label just because it's easier to describe to like my grandma. If I overthink it, I get confused, to be honest.
Yeah.
But like I do kind of relate, like I'm demisexual. Like I feel like I need to have some sort of emotional or mental connection first. And I guess I just find like, especially from like a spiritual level or like soulmate sort of level, like if a woman is straight, why would I, or like, I don't know. I haven't had an experience of being attracted to straight women. I'm not trying to say that like if you do that that's like wrong or bad, but I think another element is that why would I force a desire just because someone looks good,
Yeah.
technically?
I
You
think
know what I mean?
also how your chart is set up,
Yeah.
looking good is not enough. Like your planet
Yes.
Venus, what you're attracted to, and your Mars, your sexual desires are both in
Yes.
mercurial signs. Like
Yes.
the
Yes.
intellectual needs to be there first. And
Yep.
I can understand on because I have a Gemini
Mm-hmm.
Venus. So I can
Mm-hmm.
think someone is 10 out of 10 good looking, like you're
Mm-hmm.
fine, and maybe I'll hook up with you when I'm drunk. But like
Mm-hmm.
for me to get there romantically without having a conversation, or like if
Mm-hmm.
we do have a conversation, things aren't lining up, but you're like drop dead gorgeous.
Yep.
I'm just not even sexually attracted to you. Like
Yep.
in that type of way, or really want to continue this relationship in that type of way because I'm
Yep.
bored. Like I
You
can't
know
even
what's
talk to you.
yes. What is your Mars sign?
I have a
If you
Cancer
don't mind.
Mars.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
I've found out of anyone that I have ever been like hyper fixated on romantically, they've all had a prominent Virgo in their big three. Like,
Hmm.
and I don't really know why. Well, like my ex-girlfriend who I was with 3.5 years was a Virgo rising, but
Well, you're attracted to Virgo energy. Your Venus is in Virgo.
yes, yes,
So that's a
exactly.
big
But
thing. Yeah.
she also had Mars and Moon and Venus in Gemini. And so
Okay.
I am used to the Venus and Gemini. The thing with men is that they don't commit to me. They feel emasculated by me, or like I don't really understand and so this is where it's like I think my identity is paradoxical. And that's why
Mhm.
I like realizing looking back, it's not just that I happen to be attracted to multiple genders. Like I feel like at my core, I've always been a very multifaceted sort of person. Not that I'm also ADHD, but like
It's hard to find people who accept you for being a multifaceted person in a society, in a world who's so fixated on putting each other in boxes and putting labels on
yes.
everything. If you're spiritual, right, you gotta look like this. You gotta wear this.
Yes.
You gotta wear the crystal necklace
Yes.
and the parachute pants. And if you want to be clean girl aesthetic, oh, you can't go partying anymore. You gotta be in bed by 9 p.m. If you want to be into fitness, you can't eat this. You can't eat cake on the week. You know what I mean? Like it's like
Yes. That's
no,
exactly
but
it.
I'm am all these things, but you just can't understand it because you can only do one thing at a time. So that is the
Yes.
superpower of Gemini energy, like being able
Yes.
to grasp or be multiple things at one time. But I'm interested, the men that you
Mm-hmm.
have dated in the past,
Yes.
do they have mutable energy too in their chart, or what are their
Yes.
charts looking like?
Yeah, so like that's another thing too that I just have to kind of say, there's a whole trope of like bisexuals with boyfriends. Pisses me off personally because I can't get a boyfriend. Or it's like I hold men to lesbian standards slash like I had a year-long relationship with a man in college and he was a Virgo and a Virgo Venus, but also like looking back, like it was a little bit of alcoholism, except for that we were 19, so everyone was in a college town to
Yeah,
some
yeah, yeah,
degree.
yeah. Young, dumb.
Definitely mutable. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely mutable. But like I realized looking back, the only way I lasted with that man for so long is because every time he did something wrong, I called him out and he repented. And like I feel like men don't like, and I also, okay, Aries moon in the 10th house, which
Yeah.
for the record, you guys, this is being recorded Jupiter and Venus conjunct. I think that's like right now,
Yeah. It's
and
happening
it's
right
on my
now.
ascendant.
Oh, I love
So,
that.
yeah.
That
And
wasn't even
it's
planned.
yes, it was not
Wait, that's
planned, and I
awesome. Yeah.
noticed, and it's squaring my moon right now, and so I'm like, all right, here I go.
Yeah. I feel like your chart
Um,
has a lot of, and this could probably be another reason
mhm.
on top of your Gemini Mars why you feel like multifaceted, but there's a lot of
Yeah.
being pulled in different directions in your chart.
Yes.
Your moon is square your
Yes.
rising sign, your Venus is opposite Saturn and it's square your
Mm-hmm.
Mars. Like there's a lot of you're here but also here and you feel this way but also this way, but you
Mm-hmm.
view the world like this, but you feel like this and you act like this and you think like this.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I see you.
Exactly.
I
So like
see you.
thank you. Thank you. Yes, because like I feel like from the Virgo Venus standpoint, I feel like I'm very particular about like who I even like, or like I feel like I'm very particular in terms of what's gonna get me going in that way, like very like difficult and like picky. But then
Yeah.
like the Mars in Gemini is like I'll try anything once slash very open-minded.
Yeah.
And I think that's been a huge of like, okay, I'm very open-minded. Discovering I was into women, I was not against the idea.
Yeah.
Like, but to actually physically feel comfortable was different because actually before I officially came out as bisexual, I did hook up with a girl once like a year before, like, and because I wasn't attracted to her, I thought, okay, that must mean I'm straight. But then
Yeah.
I realized there's lots of men I'm not attracted to, and that doesn't mean anything. I can meet a girl and not be
Yeah.
attracted to her. Like,
Yeah. It's funny, and I want to make a TikTok video about this, but I feel like
yes.
after coming out, I have a
Hmm.
superpower of the ultimate gaydar. Like I know
Mm,
which people are teetering coming out the closet, but they're kind of in denial, and it's because I've been there. Or people who are just completely in the closet because of social reasons, family acceptance, religious acceptance,
mm-hmm.
society, whatever, cultural acceptance because coming out of the closet is so scary for them. And what's on the other
Mm-hmm.
side, it's literally deconstructing an old identity and walking into a new identity because it is like if you do marry someone of the same
Yes.
gender, it is complete. You have to completely reconstruct your idea
Yes.
of what you thought your future was going to look like, and that's scary.
Yeah,
So,
and I have like bi friends who are married or like engaged or like who are like totally open about being bi but are with men, which doesn't make them any less bi like whatsoever.
yeah, yeah.
But I feel like though a lot of people will give bi girls with boyfriends like a bad rep.
Do you
Oh, I will think about
experience biphobia
it.
from lesbians?
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Which my ex, if you're watching, I'm sorry. But yes, sorry.
Was she just lesbian or was she bi?
She was just lesbian. I've concluded like I felt low key more oppressed in my relationships with men than how I ever felt like with my ex-girlfriend to where like I started to like feel a lot about like the way that patriarchy being involved in my relationships like is just not okay with me. And also, I don't
Hmm.
know that I mentioned, but got Uranus and Neptune exactly on my descendant in Capricorn. And so when it comes to me feeling like I can lean on someone, like they're probably going to be a weirdo in some way. A lot of them are queer slash I've connected with a lot of people deeply over the internet. I find that to be kind of
Mm,
interesting.
Uranus on
Yeah.
the descendant. But that's
Yeah.
another thing that's very
Mm-hmm.
contradicting about your chart too, because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
Cancer risings, either
Yeah.
they what they find attractive is a very stable, kind of stoic,
Yes.
maybe older partner, maybe they get married when they're older. But with the Uranus right on the descendant too, it's kind of like it you want stability, but
Mm-hmm.
also freedom at the same time. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
In a
Yes.
relationship,
And
like it
I've
gives contradicting energy.
Yes, and I've attracted a lot of people who do 180s on me, ghost me, a lot of men. And I've had
Mm,
some men admit to me too, like, I'm intimidated by you. Okay. And then now I'm learning, oh, that's my Aries moon.
yeah.
But I'm like naturally more dominant with men than what maybe they're used to or something, or like,
Your Aries moon is your chart ruler too, so it's very important in your chart
yes.
as well. So it could come off like that, but do you want to
Hmm.
mention the TikTok video that you sent me?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna include it in here
Yes.
just
You can
because it
include it.
was so well said.
I have a theory that being an unapologetically mercurial woman is a protection mechanism against dynamics with misogynistic men because they prefer to be entangled with women who won't challenge them and are less expressive. They also like to be the ones who are more intelligent. There's a certain selfishness to only engaging in your own self-interest, which is why when mercurial women enter the situation and they have an abundance of intelligence and creativity and interest that they want to speak about, it can rub these misogynistic men in the wrong way. On top of that, I find that a lot of these mercurial girls just are not attracted to men who aren't intellectually stimulating, which wraps me back into my theory that mercurial women are not built for heteronormative relationships with patriarchal men.
Because of their intellectual thinking, it intimidates a lot of men who just, want a quiet woman or just want like a
Yes.
woman with not their own thoughts or not their own opinions.
Yes.
You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes. An
So,
issue. Yeah. An
do
issue
you
I
think that's
face with
part of it?
men. 100%, 100%. And
Yeah.
I know like gosh, isn't Mercury also like a gender or like no gender compared to other planets?
It's funny because when I think about Mercury, that's how I think of Mercury. Like I think of Mercury
Yeah,
as being like
like
non-binary.
non-bi yeah.
I think if we want to go more like towards a traditional route of Mercury, I think it's more leaning towards like a masculine type of energy.
Okay, so I had like a 1 year relationship with a man in college, and then I had a 3 month relationship with a man in college that did a 180 on me and told lies about all of our mutual friends and became a Trump supporter randomly, even though he was like in charge of the college Democrats. And then when we broke up, he became a
Weird.
Trump supporter. It was actually psycho. Like, but
You turned him into a Trumpy?
yes, I accidentally turned him into a Trumpy. That's how much he was afraid of his emotions. And
Oh my
he broke up with
God.
me over text. He wasn't able to break up and I approached it of like, hey, are you gonna say this to my face or
Yeah.
or what? But what's funny is that my first girlfriend, we actually met because he was, I guess, dating her, and it was like the Me Too movement was happening, and I tweeted something about like gaslighting or verbal abuse or something, and she like saw it and reached out to me, and then like told me that he has been telling her to stay away from me and that I was gonna slash her tires, and I didn't even know she existed.
Oh my
Like,
God.
and so, but then we bonded, and this was the girl who was bi, and so we like kind of trauma bonded about the lies that this man said, and like just like
Yeah.
laughing about how did he like, because also I was a journalism major, and he started like hating journalists and like hating Hillary Clinton, and I was like, wow, you hate women, you hate journalists, interesting, like,
Yeah.
and so that.
I think you had too much of a brain for this man. Did he have a little pee-pee? But
Yeah, actually, yeah. He had a huge Sagittarius stellium with the Virgo moon. Like almost all of his planets were Sagittarius. And
wow.
I don't know what's wrong with him, but the fight that we got
Interesting.
into before we broke up was like I was sick, like I had a cold, and so I like emailed my professor and like said that I wasn't gonna be in that day. And he was like, "Oh my God, like, how are you gonna get a job after college? You're so lazy." Like, I was like,
Oh my God.
no. I was like, I have good grades. I'm sick. And he was like, "You're so sick, then get out of my house because you're contagious." And I was like, we literally just had sex. Okay, Uranus and Neptune in the seventh house. I've attracted like people that go completely psycho on me.
Yeah, complete 180 or Neptune
Yes.
right there too. It's like
Yeah. Oh,
people
and
who
yeah, he
show
had told
one
me,
face. I'm glad you got out of that when you
thank
did
you.
because it sounds
Yes.
like he was showing
Yes.
you the tip of the iceberg of the abuse that was gonna come after
Yeah.
that.
Exactly.
Really.
And so, but I do think like, so I had that experience, which made me be like, what the heck is wrong with men? And I feel like because I had an intellectual-ish connection with him, or like we were friends, because like with the guys it's like I want to be friends as well. Like I don't really like, well, who likes being objectified? No one. I think I've also struggled with like guys that like would be attracted to me but like want to be friends but then not know how to treat me as a friend, or they'd be like, oh my God, you're so
Mm,
cool, or like, oh my God, you're too good for me, or like, how are we, like, I don't understand, they seem to like glitch out, and a lot of these men have like, I like viewed me as like manic pixie dream girl, or like viewed me in like some kind of way and then like flipped on me when, and it's always confused me, and I've considered of like if I am non-binary or not, which I don't know that I am, but I feel like even just with the bisexual label or the queer label is enough to where I feel like I don't want to play a traditional gender role in my relationships. And
mm,
if I end up doing something, like if I initiate, that's another thing. Like with men, a lot of times I initiate with them. I tell them I'm attracted to them because I don't want to have to do any of the effort of like playing these games. I'll just tell them that I'm attracted to them, and like assume that if they are, then they will meet me halfway. A lot of men
Leo
don't want
Sun,
to meet you
Aries
halfway.
Moon. I love that confidence. I love that,
Thank
honestly.
you. But a lot of them don't want to do that. They want to
Yeah.
control a girl that they think that they can control, and
Where
that's
are you
not
from
me.
again? Where are you born and raised?
Oh, I'm in Kansas City. So yeah,
Okay.
I haven't been able to escape Saturn in my ninth house.
Do you think, okay, so you lived there your whole life?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that might, like, where you're at too, like, has an
Yes.
effect on the type of
It
men that
does.
is
It
surrounding you?
does. But I also like when I went to journalism school at Mizzou, it had a lot of people from different states. And also I've been currently trying to get over like a long distance situationship, which I'll talk a little bit about that, but it's less related to the queerness. But it
Mm-hmm.
is kind of related to how I relate to men, because I guess I'll just say, sorry, I'm all over the place. So it's like I came out as queer in like 2016, and then that relationship ended more so because she was still going to be in college for another year, and I had just graduated, and it was like just kind of a distance thing. But
Yeah.
like I was like dating, and it was like, yeah, my 12th house year, Mars and Gemini being activated, I was like dating people and like really feeling like, yeah, like men were being really flaky. I couldn't understand why men who we had so much in common, like about music, and we would have so much to talk about, why they would like do this thing where they clearly were super attracted to me. They clearly thought I was really cool, but then they like just couldn't respect me, or like they just didn't want to invest in me. And
Yeah.
then my ex-girlfriend, kind of the lesbian, gold star lesbian, was all like, you deserve better.
Yeah. Coming in
I was like,
like,
yeah, I do.
I'll never treat you like that, babe.
Yeah,
Always the gold
yeah.
stars.
Yes, yeah. And so like but I for the whole relationship, 3.5 years, I feel like I struggled with not feeling gay enough for her, or like wanting to show her that I cared about her enough. And like what
Mm,
I realized through that is that I had a whole bunch of baggage from the disrespect and gaslighting that men have put toward me, that I realized she couldn't relate to.
yeah. I
And
relate
I think,
heavy.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Completely relate to
yeah.
what you were saying. Before
Hmm.
I dated my first girlfriend, I was in a relationship with a guy for over 5 years. And then, got out of that, dated. I started dating guys and girls.
Hmm.
But the amount of disrespect that I just received from men
Yeah.
was undescribable. Like I thought I healed from a lot, but it wasn't until I entered the
Hmm.
relationship with her that I'm like, oh, I healed some amount, but not a lot.
Yeah.
And then having you be like, well, you're just gonna leave me for a man anyway,
Yeah.
and then just
Hmm.
these trust issues
And I did
coming.
get that thrown at me. Yes.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
like, oh my God, not being able to relate because when you're when you're bi or you're
Yes.
pan or you're queer and you're dating someone who's a
Hmm.
lesbian who
Yeah.
cannot understand the concept that we can be attracted to multiple genders or people who
Yeah.
don't even identify as a gender
Yeah.
because you're only attracted to women and then you want to come at me and be like, I don't trust you, you're gonna leave me for a man, da 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 da. Like it drives such a wedge in the relationship and causes an identity shift to your partner because I felt like I had to be more gay, more lesbian.
Yeah.
Let me just identify as lesbian. And lesbian
Hmm.
wasn't even a label that I ended up not even fully
Yeah.
identifying with or
Yeah.
feeling comfortable with. So now I identify as pansexual or queer.
Yeah. Well,
But
also, guess
yeah,
what? If you're a woman and you're dating a woman, people are going to call you a lesbian, even if that's not what you identify
yeah,
as anyway.
yeah,
And so the whole idea that bisexual women feel like we have to prove that we're like lesbian enough or gay enough is so ridiculous when you consider that the rest of society is already labeling you all, oh, there's the gay
yeah.
couple. You know what I
Technically,
mean?
like you're in like a lesbian relationship,
Yeah.
and I didn't care like that being called, but it's kind of
Yeah.
like
Totally.
feeling like you need to prove you're gay and you're prove
Yes.
your queerness to your own
Yes.
partner and it's like can't you see how much I
Yes.
love you, like can't you
Yes.
see like is my love not enough of proof for you, like I don't know
Yes.
how much, like
Yes.
do you want me to cut my hair like do you want me to like wear rings on all my fingers and like wear like I don't know boxers, like I don't like do
Yes.
you want me to look more like I don't know what
Yeah.
you want from me, so those
Yeah.
are the thoughts that I started thinking. And
Yes.
then throughout like the relationship, like I did cut my hair. I cut my hair short. Like I started
Hmm.
wearing like I started being a little bit androgynous here and there. And like then when we
Hmm.
broke up, I felt like that was what I had to be. And I realized I was just trying to prove my queerness to someone who was
Yeah.
fixated on just denying it because of their own trauma.
Well, isn't it just funny how I feel like that's a very canon, like bi, pan, queer woman experiences, like not feeling gay enough, or like also like feeling ashamed for your attraction to men, or being like, ooh, why would you like that little rat? Or like, oh, why would you put up with
Yeah.
that? And I was like, I literally don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did.
Yeah. Literally, I don't know.
I'm like, I'm sorry.
Hands up. I don't know.
I'm
We
like, I'm
we just had
guilty.
a really good conversation and we like the same
Yes.
bands. Like, I
Yeah, he
don't
made me
know.
feel seen and he had good music taste. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like,
literally. So true. I think it's such a
oh,
Gemini thing. And this is Gemini season right now
yes,
too, but
yes,
it's literally
yes,
such a Gemini thing. The music taste, oh my God.
yes. Oh
Like it's
my
just
God.
the type of like intellectualness like that we can sit and have a conversation and never get bored. The
Hmm.
stimulation is the
Yeah.
word that I'm thinking
Well,
of, but
I wonder if this is kind of a Gemini thing too. But it's like, I would always think of it as people are always in relationships. Like you hopefully want to grow together. Like you don't want people to cheat. And I feel like people will think about Gemini as it's flaky when it's not really that. But also it's like, if you only have so much time in a day, and what are you doing after work? Where do you like to travel? Like what kind of shows do you like to watch? Like what kind of music do you like to watch? And it's like if I want to pick a person that I want to be with the rest of my life, like I would hope that we like would want to enjoy our time together so that we're
Yeah.
never bored. Or else wouldn't I always have a wandering eye?
Yeah.
Like if someone was boring me? I don't
Big
know.
Virgo Venus thing too. So my dad is a
Mhm.
Virgo Venus. One of my exes is a Virgo Venus. And
Ooh, so you have the tea on us.
so yeah,
Tea
I
from the
just Tea
galaxy.
from the galaxy, baby. I got like an
Yes, I love that.
first row view of how this placement
Hmm.
works. But a thing that gets slept on about Virgo Venus is like they like doing the daily tasks together. Like it's
Yeah.
like I want to sit and do my taxes with you. Like being
Yeah.
sitting and doing the chores of the day to day is actually enjoyable with their partner. Like they want someone who they could do the daily things with, and that is
Yeah.
brings them joy in life. Like it doesn't always have to be like this, maybe this big romantic like
Yes.
gesture. Virgo Venus is more like, do you want to cook with me? Do you want to go food shopping with me? Like, do you want to? It's like literally
Yes.
having a built-in buddy. Like they love
Yes.
that. And Gemini is a
Oh my
similar
God.
way too.
I would love to hear you talk more about that. I just have to say that made me more emotional than I thought because I'm thinking about my Saturn opposite Venus, and I've been trying to get over a long distance situationship that I just, and he knows this if you're watching, I have feelings for. Guess what? I've
Yeah.
already said it because what you see is what you get with me. I'm honest
Yeah.
about it. But like, I've even before having long distance situations, technically both of my ex-girlfriends started as long distance situations as well, even if it was just 2 hours away. I also have like talked with people that I've met online and stuff, but like I feel like you're right. You brought up the point about like people in Kansas City area or whatever not being my vibe. But one of my first like crushes on a guy that I don't think was gay was like before I was going to college, like I met on like the Facebook forum and he like lived in Chicago and guess what? He had good music taste and was easy to talk to. That's
Hmm.
really I'm so simple. That's the thing. People act like I'm
Me
so
too.
complicated. There is a feeling with the Saturn opposing it of like what I want is far away, or like the sort of
Mm.
guys I would be interested in often don't choose to stay and settle down in Kansas City. A lot of them have moved to pursue their careers or their creative ambition in some way.
Hmm.
Um, or they're queer, or like have moved to a place that's gonna make them feel safer. But like, gosh, the craving of I literally just want to like sit on the couch and talk about your day. Like that's it. But
Yeah.
like that being so far away and like the internet can make it easier to like connect. This is my lore.
I love
It's like
it. Spill the tea,
thanks.
baby.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, it's
This
like
is safe space.
yes, well like Mars and Gemini like I also like to like share my thoughts. Just because I'm texting all day every day, it's actually because I just want you to be a part of my everyday life. Like it's not because I'm like so anxious and like attached. It's really just that I can't shut up and it's really that
Yeah.
simple. With the seventh house, like you're right, because you're right. A lot of Cancer risings do end up maybe going for like a more traditional or like daddy, like older, like
Yeah.
kind of like figure. People born like between 89-ish to 94, we like all have that conjunction. Like that's a very millennial generational thing to have Capricorn, Uranus and Neptune in. A lot of us, I think, are figuring out what does it even mean to have a structure that is reliable if the world around us is not structured.
Yeah.
And so I've wondered, like, do I attract men that are more late bloomers, not fully feeling queer enough, but really it's not even that my ex-girlfriend was like shaming me for being bi. Like she was really understanding, like I said, the Gemini, all that she had, she would say things she didn't mean in fights and then be like, oh, that's just my insecurity, whatever.
This
Like,
is
so
the
I,
one who also had a Gemini Mars.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
And Venus and Moon. So she would say things like, oh, you're just gonna leave me for a man. And then like later be like, I didn't consider that that was biphobic, but that was just my thought in the moment that I said. And
Mm,
so like I would forgive
yeah.
it a lot.
Oh my God, that used to drive such a wedge in the
Hmm.
relationship. I was
Yes.
gonna mention something. Oh
Hmm.
yeah. So your Saturn return, being
Yes.
that your Saturn is opposing Venus, and you said something that stuck with me that I'm curious if people who
Yes.
have Venus Saturn oppositions or squares can relate to this,
Hmm.
but like feeling like love is so far away, or love
Yes.
like you get it but you can't grasp it, or it falls in between your fingers, or it's just like something that's meant to be hard.
Yeah.
That's something when
Yes.
Saturn is aspecting Venus too. Love can feel hard. Like can feel like
Yeah.
it's this upward battle, it's this uphill battle, and it can feel like that for a lot of people, but make sure that that uphill battles with someone who's worth it, because then you're going to
Mm-hmm.
build a very strong structure. And because if not, and you're just like, succumbing to people who, which this doesn't seem like you, it seems like you know your worth,
Yeah.
and if someone's not
Yes.
giving you something and you're willing to move on to
Mm-hmm.
the next. Virgo Venuses are notorious for being a fixer. Like, I can
Yes.
fix you, or let
Yes.
me prove it to you. I can help you.
No work is too hard for the right person for me, and
Yeah.
that's tough.
You can attract like a lot of like not the
Mm-hmm.
right people, because
Mm-hmm.
and that's such a wonderful trait. Like, I love that trait in Virgo Venuses. You guys are
Mm-hmm.
reliable. You guys are willing to ride this out. You guys are, and
Yeah.
you have that opposition of Saturn too. So like this is almost like
Mm-hmm.
a business partnership, like
Yeah.
we're gonna work
Yeah.
do this life together.
Yeah.
With the opposition though, you probably have experienced relationships that were
Mm-hmm.
really good, and then it felt really tough. And like, opposition, that
Yes.
it's like a balance beam. You need to
Ooh,
find the balance. Did you
it's
find
so
Was
true.
there a
Mm-hmm.
learning lesson during your Saturn return, or that you realized after your certain Saturn return, in terms of how you were in relationships or not?
Oh my God, yeah. Well, it's so much of my literal Saturn return has been me dealing with the avoidant long distance situation, which is hilarious because it's so ninth house, long distance travel.
Mm,
It was so
yeah.
me freaking out about not knowing if I would be able to afford to visit or if it was even practical to pursue.
Wow. That's so
Like,
literal astrology.
yeah, it actually really is. To where I just started to lean into like how darkly absurd this whole thing is. And then my ninth
Crazy.
house Saturn just wanted me to track the transits and journal every day and learn from. And now I offer astrology and tarot readings.
I love it.
But like, because I honestly feel like Saturn has been like training me through my relationships to kind of even kind of similar to you of like, look, taking like analyzing the charts of like your loved ones and like starting to notice the patterns of.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes sense for a Mercurial Venus, is that we probably like to analyze our partners or like
Yeah.
notice the little quirks in them, and
Oh
like
yeah.
it's easy to learn astrology from doing that.
Yeah, 'cause we're
But
constantly analyzing people.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder, do you think that there could be an element of queerness, even just feeling like with the Saturn Venus opposition of that love is far away, or even like there is sort of like a my dream partner is this far away alien, especially with the Uranus Neptune, like, because I think part of my challenge is that, or as far as like not wanting to fix people or whatever, I think that Virgo Venus also tends to like people who are, I'm trying to find the right word. I'm sorry, of like people
No, it's
who are a
okay.
little understated or
Yeah.
a little like not showy, humble, I guess. Or it's like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the men that I go for tend to have no clue what appeal they have because they don't look like fucking chads or whatever. Or like I don't
Yeah.
care about your muscles. I care the fact that you're smart and you're kind and you like good music and
Yeah.
and funny. All men have to do is be funny and kind and cool, have interests, develop yourself. Like,
Yeah.
and I feel
100%.
like I have struggled with you were making me think of like, yeah, I it is almost like a business contract being like in a relationship. And so I see it as sometimes people will be like, oh, a relationship shouldn't be this hard. You shouldn't be having to put this sort of work in. But then I think a relationship, your partner is the person you're going to be with when your parents die or
Mm-hmm.
when you're doing life shit. Like they're the person that you're going to have to deal with hard shit with. So why, if you can't even deal with hard shit in our relationship, how can I trust that you can deal with hard shit in life?
Exactly.
So,
It's not just about someone to have fun with, although that's a huge part, right? It's about someone
yes.
who's there for you during when times when life isn't fun and like who's gonna hold it down for you. And especially like you being a
Mm-hmm.
Cancer rise, you have a you have
Mm-hmm.
an Earth seventh house, you have an Earth Venus. Like I think you do
Mm-hmm.
appreciate someone who can hold it down. Like
Yeah.
you like someone who's there. Someone who's you're not like,
Mm.
where are they at? Where like, oh, are they traveling this week for
Yes.
work now? Like, or how are they gonna react when it comes to this? Like you are attracted to that type of that's
Yes.
when someone
And
is confident in their emotions.
I think that this is making me think too, as part of just like my theories with this, is that a lot of men right now, the good ones, or the ones that are trying to unpack patriarchy, a lot of them are struggling with not feeling like they could provide, or like feeling like they're struggling with knowing how to be reliable. And so I feel like even if I am going for that sort of Saturn or like Capricorn figure, they're struggling with what does that look like in 2026 in a world that we don't even know if we can afford a house, or we don't know if we can afford kids. And
Yeah.
so in retrospect, I'm like, because yeah, astrologically, like I am the Cancer rising here. I should be attracting these sort of like Capricorn, like I can take care of you. Where are they? I don't know, because
Yeah.
anyway, I don't know. That's a
That's
whole
because
kind of a
money
tangent,
isn't
but
everything to you. Like as women, I could
yes,
easily
yes.
like go and settle with the man and be quiet just
Mm-hmm.
because he's paying my bills. And like I've watched a
Mm-hmm.
lot of women in my life do that growing up. And I
Yes,
think we're
yes.
also walking into a generation where we don't want that. And I think more matters to you than just someone who is able to like maybe provide you a house or maybe
Yeah, exactly.
provide you that type of material stability. That's not enough
Mm-hmm.
to keep
Yeah.
you satisfied. I think you want more
Yes.
from life, you
Yes. And
know,
I'm
and
realizing,
that's
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
valid. No, that's valid.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
completely valid.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not saying like
Yeah.
go be with a bum,
Yeah.
but I'm saying like
Yeah.
I get you on that level where it's
Yes.
like I've been with people who've had money before. It's not worth it to me. Like it's
Yeah.
not, I don't
A
care.
lot of, I don't really care. Like when people are like, oh, I'm going to manifest a man with money, a lot of them are really boring, or they sold their souls for like a job they hate. Like I would rather
Yeah.
be like, I don't want to be with like a bum, but like even if they work like at a restaurant, or even if they are like an artist, they should be able to cook themselves food and clean their house. How about that?
Oh yeah,
Like they should be
definitely.
able to take care of themselves, get their own doctor's appointments, that shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But but I want to connect the dots because I've been talking about men a lot and I feel embarrassed of what the other queer people are gonna think. But just to share is that like
No,
I
not
feel
at
like
all. This
one of
is
the
like you're bi. You date both
yeah,
men and
exactly. Thank
girls, so
you.
I feel like a lot of people can relate to everything that you're saying. So,
Thank you. Thank you. But to I feel like I don't think that it was my ex-girlfriend's biphobia that made us break up by any means, but I do think that once I got out of that relationship, I realized too that I had so much of this like I hate men, like resentment toward men that was built up, that then I felt like I couldn't process during that relationship because I was
yeah.
trying to make sure I was like queer enough for her. And so I was like flirting with men again, dating, open to dating men again, but also like experiencing a lot of rage. Also, this was around the time that Roe v. Wade was overturned. And so I was
Mm.
feeling like a lot of rage. I was 28 when I started like being open to dating men again, going on like first dates with men again. I was
Hmm.
28 where I haven't had a committed boyfriend since I was 21. And so I naively thought, oh, they must have grown. They did not. And they
Yeah.
did not. And they did not. And so I think that that was kind of a rude awakening to some degree. A lot of rage toward the patriarchy, but it wasn't until this last guy that I was talking to during my Saturn return kind of helped me release a lot of the hatred toward men, because I started to see
Mm.
him as an example of a good guy who is doing his best. And realizing the way that the patriarchy affects men, and the patriarchy makes a lot of men avoidant, and it makes them feel responsible for taking care of women's emotions in ways that they honestly shouldn't have to do.
Yeah.
And in a lot of my misunderstandings with him, I realized that he was trying to like play a role for me where I was like, the what I know in terms of intimacy, like because I also lived with my ex-girlfriend for 2 years, like during COVID, and so we both
Mm,
worked remotely during COVID. It was U-Haul on steroids, like,
yeah.
and also like both of us being Mars and Gemini, and both of us also had Cancer Mercury, and so like we would talk all day, every day, and so like I kind of just like realized like patriarchy really limits men's ability to be intimate, and like my understanding of what's normal to be intimate is not normal in a lot of these hetero relationships. So trying to date
Yeah.
men again after that, it's been really challenging.
It is
So,
hard. Yeah. No,
hmm
I completely agree. Being pansexual,
hmm
I don't really care about the gender. I will date
yeah,
if I find you
yeah,
attractive, but I am more women leaning, so I do
hmm
really only date women. But there was this one guy that I was thinking of possibly going on a date with. And the more that we were talking, the more that I felt so surface level.
that's
That's
exactly
like
it.
the type of thing, right? That when you date a woman and then you find this connection and you feel seen, and it's kind of easier to be
hmm
talked to. And it's like not just scratching the surface, it's like going beneath the surface and beneath that. How do you bounce back from that? And why don't a lot of these
Yeah,
men know how to scratch the surface? It is because of toxic
yeah,
masculinity and stuff like that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I
And I
think
feel
that's part of
like,
it.
yeah, and I feel like even though I say this is like I've been dating men again, I've gone on a lot of first dates and felt nothing. Like I
Yeah.
have been very just uninterested in a lot of men, and to the point where I'm scared, honestly, to meet up with one, especially with the way my Virgo Venus is right now. It's like if I flirt with them, if I send some dirty talk with my Mars and Gemini and I act like I'm interested and then they say something and then I realize I'm not, am I going to be in a dangerous situation? Like, are they going to
You're
be
like, oops,
mad at
I
me for being a fucking
accidentally
tease?
flirted.
Yeah, like it's scary because I also realize like I just am a tease and it's not my fault. And my look at my birth
Yeah.
chart, it'll tell
Yes.
you.
Wait, there's a meme. What's that meme? And it's like, I accidentally ended up in a relationship because I flirted too hard or something like that. Like, that's literally what it
Seriously.
is. Yeah. Gemini, Venus, Gemini,
Yeah.
Mars.
Yeah. And I
I
feel
feel you.
like yeah, and I feel like I've been wanting to like be more not that open to dating women again, not that I'm not open to it, but like whenever I first got over my or whenever my ex-girlfriend and I first broke up, it was harder to date women, to
Yeah.
be honest. And
Yeah.
I think that could be normal for bisexuals too of
Did you feel betrayal from both men and women? Like, did you have to heal from
ooh.
betrayal of both genders?
Yes.
That was a lot for me.
That's yeah.
That hit me
Yes.
like a train.
Yes. Yes.
Like my therapist was working overtime.
Do you feel like it was different for you of both? Like it felt like different types of betrayals?
Um, I feel like I have a lot of relationship lore, but it was
Yeah.
betrayal
Yeah.
from both. But I guess with my ex-girlfriend who broke my heart, it felt
hmm
it just hurt way more for some reason. And I don't know if it's because we
hmm
were both women and it's kind of like,
Yeah.
how could you do me like that? Like, I thought you fully saw me versus when I was with my ex-boyfriend. And even though he was my best friend,
Ooh.
I didn't feel like he fully ever saw me or understood me. It was just like, you're a man. You're a man. But with my
Yes.
ex-girlfriend, it's like, wow, you saw me and still did me like that. Like, that's disgusting. And that was,
Yes.
I guess, the biggest thing to heal
Yes.
from.
Yes. I so understand that because like I feel like it's normal to have like a little bit of a wall in relationships with men, I guess. Or especially like when I look back to how I was in college, like it was a lot easier to just like entertain a date, but like they didn't have to know my whole heart and soul or whatever. But like I do think that after my relationship with my ex-girlfriend, like there's kind of no going back. Like why would I, and this I also think is Virgo Venus, why would I settle or like date someone who is not as good of a relationship as the last relationship that I was just in?
Yeah,
Like, but
definitely.
for me, I did break up with her, but it still was like felt like a betrayal in the sense that it was my Virgo Venus bringing up the same issue like over and over for a year and just
Mm.
not seeing change. And a lot of it was she knows this too. If you're watching, don't be mad at me. I Her Virgo rising, I don't I did not want her to be mad at me or judge me, and she would always say like I don't mean to or whatever, but like the Gemini can say things it doesn't mean in fights, and I can get my feelings hurt. And anyway, it was just a matter of like trying to explain that I'm really sensitive and that hurt me. Like basically it was like a lot of resentment building, which is kind of Cancer, but
Virgo risings
yeah.
are tough, low key.
Yes. Yeah.
Like they have an expectation for people
Yeah.
close to them.
The reason why I feel we're able to still like be cool, like be friends, is because I feel like we fully grieved the relationship.
Yeah.
And I also like Mars and Gemini really beats a dead horse and exhausts things. And so I feel like we exhausted the issue over and over. Like if both of our traumas were triggering each other in a way that was causing a spiral that wasn't helpful,
Mm-hmm.
then it almost felt like I love you too much, that if I love you like this and it's gonna do is trigger the parts of me that's gonna want to come in and fix what I can't fix. And so to me, it almost felt like a very logical decision.
Yeah.
Um, but for me, once it snapped, I kind of was like, okay, that makes sense. It was hard for me though, still being the person doing that, because it was like I didn't want to hurt her and I didn't want her to be upset. There for a while too. It's like if I date a man, she's gonna be pissed at me, and how could I betray? I
Mm,
didn't want to betray her. I
yeah.
didn't. I still deal. I like, and maybe that's like some can argue, is it normal to even be friends with your ex? I mean, it's not like we talk like all the time. Like we probably
Well,
catch up like
it's
every
very
couple
much queer
months.
women thing,
Yeah.
very much lesbiana thing to do.
Yeah. I
So
mean, I
it's
don't.
normal in the community for sure. I think another reason why I'm
Hmm.
pro or why I understand you guys can be
Yeah.
friends, knowing that your charts,
Yeah.
one, you have both the same Mercury signs and the same Mars signs. I think your
Yes.
communication with how it probably ended and like
Yes.
being able to remain friends after that, like what you said, you beat the dead horse, you squashed the beef, like.
Yes.
I think because your communication is solid in
Hmm.
that type of
Yes.
aspect. I think also like her Cancer placements being in your first house too, it's kind of like you see her and understand her, and
Hmm.
she probably like understands your perspective on things
Yes.
because although you have a Virgo Venus and you're like, according to my calculations, like this isn't gonna work anymore.
Yes. Yes.
The ruler of your Virgo Venus is your Cancer Mercury. So there's a very much watery
Hmm.
aspect to what is
Yes.
usually known as like maybe a picky, tough, judgy Venus sign. It's not super that much that
Yes.
because the Cancer Mercury is
Yes.
ruling it. So it kind of is bringing in a little bit, a tad of an emotional,
It
like
was,
watery aspect to your Venus sign and
yeah.
how you
It
love.
was it was really important to me that she didn't feel betrayed, and that she didn't walk away from our relationship and think that she was broken or did anything wrong, or like it was really, really important to me that I like left her better than I found her. And I think that's also very Virgo.
Oh, that is. I love
But
that.
like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
honestly, I was so considerate of her feelings, which is exactly why I had to end it, because I was not considerate enough about my own feelings and my own needs.
Mm.
Like, now my point though with that is like we actually talked a couple of months ago. Like we will unhash the breakup if we ever need to, if it ever comes up, but there's nothing even really to unhash. Cancer Mercury is always going to be connecting back to the past. Everything is from an origin of some point. I realized, and I told her, I was like, now that I am like getting over a lot of just like my huge like feminine rage toward men and the patriarchy, and I'm like learning that there are some men that maybe they'll never step up and want to meet me halfway in relationship.
I think
Processing a
there
lot of the,
is. Well,
yeah.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know
So maybe I'll be with a woman, or maybe
if
I
your
won't,
perfect person, yeah, is a man or a woman.
Hmm.
I like,
Yeah. I don't really
will
care.
I
I think as long as
say
they, yeah. Mhm.
exactly. I
Yeah.
think I will never lose hope in
Yes.
humanity. I think
Yeah.
there is good men out there. It's kind of harder to find, but I do believe
Yes.
that they are out there, and that's why like you should never settle. Like
Yes.
you should never settle or
Yeah.
like lose hope
Never.
and that. But like who's to say
Yes.
like you would even
Yes.
end up with a man, you know?
Yeah.
So it's
And
like
yes. And so this is a point I definitely wanted to mention in this, is that I feel like I think that it's intimidating to men dating them when they know that you don't need their dick. You actually
Yeah.
don't. Like there's like it's like a power dynamic thing, but also it's like I've already accepted, like I talked about potentially marriage with my ex-girlfriend. And so it's like I've already grieved. I might not have a normal wedding. I might not do all the things like, and so whenever
Yeah.
men are trying to like dangle like marriage and kids in front of me, is that I give a fuck. It's so weird.
A question that I wanted to ask you, and I
Hmm.
was thinking, I was like, maybe I could spice this question up a little bit. So usually every
Yes.
Pride Month, the guests that I
Hmm.
have on, I ask, what are your top three gayest signs? But because you're a bi
Hmm.
queen, what
Hmm.
do you think are the top three most bisexual signs that you find?
Yes. Okay. Gemini, Pisces. I feel
Okay.
like Pisces is probably just more likely to be fluid in some way.
So many people say Pisces. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
There's
Yeah.
truth in that for sure.
And honestly, maybe Virgo. I appreciate you having me on because it's like I also feel like I don't see a lot of bi examples of people who are like fully okay with being bi. And like I'm not just saying that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm such a Leo right now, but it's like a
No, I
lot
love
of
it.
bi people will have a or it's like, or like people will ask me if I have a preference, and it's like I don't.
Yeah.
You know. So I don't know. I
I
just
think
wanted to
you
add
just
that.
love the mind. Like I think you are such a
Yes.
sapiosexual. But also like so this is something that I find hard too
Hmm.
because when it comes to like things like manifestation, right? What do you want your dream future to look like? I think
Yes.
being
Yes.
bi, pan, or queer is kind of like, well, I don't, is it going to be with a man? Is it going to be with a woman? Like how do I manifest it? I don't know what it's going to look like. You know
Ooh,
what I
such a good
mean?
question.
So it's more
Yeah.
of like thinking of an idea and getting down of like the
Hmm.
personality traits that we need and want instead of like
Yeah.
or like a feeling too. You know, you're a Cancer rising. I'm a
Ooh,
Scorpio rising.
yes.
I think
Ooh,
working with
oh.
how things feel is very
Mhm.
important too. Yeah.
Yes. That's so true. It is so easy to get confused, even if you're totally comfortable in your sexuality. If it's like trying to picture who it is that you like or whatever. I've been thinking of it as how do I want it to feel? And I think like the people that I've been fixated on, it's like they make me feel exactly how I want to feel. And so it's not
Yeah.
even that it has to be them, but it like activates a feeling in me that I'm like, this is exactly how I want to feel when I'm in a relationship. Like I feel
Yeah.
safe, I feel taken care of. And I think,
I don't hear this
yeah,
conversation a lot being talked about.
yeah,
And although I am like women leaning and I feel like I am gonna marry a woman, like marrying a man isn't off the table for me. But I feel
hmm,
like this isn't a conversation I hear often. It's kind of like how confusing it can be
yes,
of, not knowing what that future is gonna look like because like the world is
yes,
our oyster in a
yes.
way.
There's a part
Hmm.
of me that does wonder if I will end up with a man, and it makes me feel sick because then I'm like, do I just hate being mistreated? Is that my Virgo Venus? Like, I
Hmm.
don't want to be that. I don't want to be the desperate girl that like puts up with shit, you know? Like,
No, you're not meant to do
yeah,
that. Your chart
yeah,
literally screams no. Okay.
yeah,
Like, no,
yeah,
I don't think that's what you're meant for in this lifetime.
yeah.
You're meant to do a lot. You have a lot happening and going for you right now as well.
Hmm.
So,
Thank you.
oh,
Yeah,
like literally, I
yeah.
saw recently like your tarot TikToks have been
Oh,
popping
yes.
off.
Oh, thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I appreciate that. And I've been contributing to astrology.com just to give a shout out to on their Instagram.
Hmm.
Coming out as queer is kind of similar to coming out as being witchy and like reclaiming it in your identity to some degree because like I've
Yeah.
had different versions of myself. I've always been interested in this stuff, but like having that gig with them is like, okay, I need to not feel weird about talking about my interests. And
Yeah.
I will say, yeah, I do think that my Mars and Gemini being in the 12th house, there is an element of like that being a surprise or like my queerness being coming from complete surprise because it was from the 12th house. Um,
Or a reason why it
and
was
like,
suppressed for a long time too.
yes,
Because it's a dark
yes,
house, it's a hidden house. Yeah. Do you want to tell
yeah,
everyone
mm,
like what you're currently working on, what's
yes,
coming up for
yes.
you, where people can find
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. You can find me on TikTok or Instagram at MeghaMuse, MeghAmuse. That's my internet persona, by the way, you guys. Yeah, I do have tarot and astrology video readings available right now, but long story short, I got laid off from my digital media strategy role like a year and a half ago, and I was facing long-term unemployment, kind of getting on my feet again, and I'm getting ready to start offering like consulting as well. So be on the lookout for that because like, and I'm starting a podcast called The Sovereign Signal that may or may not already have my first episode out by the time this is out because I just
Cool.
recorded this morning. Brand strategy consulting. Like I'm basically going all in on starting my business on top of these other things. And so
Mhm.
I'm wanting to like, I'm mostly posting on TikTok of just like wanting to update along the way with where I'm at. So I am also on YouTube, MeghaMuse, you'll find me. I grew a YouTube channel. I started it in like 2015. I got up to nearly 20K and talked about personality type. And so like I'm a
Awesome.
huge fan of Carl Jung, depth psychology,
Oh, me
shadow
too.
work. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Yay. And so like I used to post on there a lot about like ENFJ versus INFJ, like a bunch of stuff like that. And I'm kind of wanting to revive that channel. So I'm going to post my podcast on that channel.
Oh, perfect.
So yeah, so go follow my YouTube channel if you want to know when
Yeah.
my podcast drops.
I will
Because
definitely go do that. Yeah.
yeah, because it's kind of like I've been in this phase of like breaking free, almost unmasking from like feeling the need to be Megan, the personality girl, to allowing me to be MegMuse, whatever the hell I feel inspired to share.
You are the brand, baby.
Yes, yes. And so that's why like I really am interested in helping use whatever I've learned about marketing and journalism to help creatives like put their voice out there and like find your voice. And like I feel like I've almost been like backstage. Oh my God, I can't wait for Jupiter and Leo. Ah, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Oh,
go
that's gonna
balls
be
to the
so
wall with
nice for
Jupiter and Leo.
you. Yeah.
Yes, I'm
Hell yeah.
excited. But
Well,
of
I'm very
course this,
excited for all the
yes, thank
upcoming
you.
things that you
I
have happening.
appreciate
I will make
it.
sure to be there. I'm going to subscribe to your
Yes,
YouTube
you too.
channel.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah, thank you again for joining.
Thank
This was such a
you.
nice
Thank you.
conversation. This was so much fun.
Thank you. And thank you for being such a beautiful safe or a Jupiter and Venus Cancer
Yes.
container for all of these conversations. Like I'm saying I'm excited for Jupiter and Leo, but like Jupiter and Cancer, like, gonna
Yeah.
soak that up while it lasts for the rest of Pride Month.
I think this was a nice day to
Hmm.
record on and kind of like
Yes.
jumpstart,
Hmm.
a
It's
new
helped me.
chapter.
Thank you so much for having me on. And yeah, you've even helped me. Yeah. Because I think last thing I'll say, I'm sorry, it's just like I think being queer, it can feel like a fragmentation of your voice or your identity in some
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
And so I think that I just I posted something today where I said bisexual is a mindset, yes and bitch. And
I
it's like
love that.
I feel like my mind is queer and like the way that I've had to fragment to fit in, like I see so many parallels of how that works with being like a witchy woman versus also being queer. And it's like
Oh
we
yeah.
have to come out again and again, especially when you're like femme. Like
Yeah.
no one in my life, like no one assumes that I'm queer unless they have gaydar.
Yeah.
Like very Cancer
That
of you
is
also to
my
then
bread and
like
butter.
allow people to feel at home to come out and talk about
Yeah.
themselves. So
Of
that's awesome.
course. Of
Thank you.
course. Thank you.
Yeah.